Ever since she started the police department, she's always volunteered to be in the more challenging positions. She was in the undercover drug unit. She worked the streets on that. She did prostitution details with the city, dressing as a prostitute for the stings. She worked in one of the toughest beats in Springfield. She volunteered for everything. So when this opening came up in the Detective Bureau to work with children of sexual assault and physical abuse, Paula again volunteered for that. You have to want to do it in order to do the best for the kids. A lot of people find it disturbing, and it is disturbing, but you have to look at the end result, and that is getting a conviction of the bad person for the child, taking the child out of that environment, saving the child. And by saving the child, I mean physically, sexually, and psychologically. Because a lot of these kids could come out much more damaged than they are. If it means taking time away from her family or out of her day off because she's got an interview or she's got a court hearing or an advocacy interview, that's where she's at.
The cases that Paula investigates are some of the same cases that I prosecute. It's the job of the prosecutor to prosecute, but we can't prosecute a case unless it's been properly and effectively investigated. If they don't put together the evidence, a confession when that's possible, and Paula gets a lot of confessions, the quality interview with the child, Paula is able to be firm when she needs to be firm, compassionate when she needs to be compassionate, and able to kind of keep things moving and pull it all together. It's an absolutely critical piece of the process that you have a good investigator who does a real quality investigation, and those kinds of cases, we often are able to put the offender away. She works hard every day to protect children, to bring safety to children, and to hold accountable the people who have harmed children. And somebody who dedicates their time and their energy and their emotion to doing that, in my book, is a hero.
It's not unusual for my cases to be 3 or 4 years old. My longest has probably been 14 years old since it happened to, something that happened 2 hours ago. Our cases, I kind of compare to them, are kind of like cold cases. We have very little physical evidence the majority of the time, so you really are relying on the memory of these children and someone that they might have said the tiniest bit of information to. So speaking to the witnesses or just people that knew them are probably the most important thing that we do in our job, in our investigation. The challenges with these kids are that they feel that they did something wrong, or they still love the person that did this to them, and they're not sure if it's wrong or right, or if it's bad, or if that's how it's supposed to be. That's our biggest challenge, is trying to get them to realize that you didn't do anything wrong, and while it was a bad thing that this happened, it's not your fault, and you didn't do anything bad. And you have to listen to them. Sometimes no one listens to them, and someone has to be there and be their voice for them, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Even if the bad person doesn't go to jail, this child's been able to tell their story, someone's believing them, a lot of times finally. Sometimes they've told it 3 or 4 times, and no one's really believed them, and they're able to move on to the next step of their life. We've had a couple families, one just recently that there was 3 daughters, 3 victims in this family. It was one of my first cases, actually, and they just got adopted by their foster parent. When you know that you are the one that finally stopped that abuse, and it's not even only the abuse with that family, but you're stopping that person from abusing anyone for X amount of time, it makes it all worth it. So you say, as frustrating as 1 through 50 may have been, now you have 51 where, hey, that's what it's all about. This is what our job is, and this is what we're supposed to do. I don't think I'm a hero. I think that I'm fortunate enough to have a great job. that allows me the opportunity to help those that can't help themselves,